Um, yeah.
My bad. Hold on.
You already know who it is. You already know it's Nate Styles checking in again. In quarantine day number 8 for me. But for the government, it's day number 1. Ain't that a bitch? But I got some good news in the midst of a lot of bad news. So, bad news first. Like I said, this is day number 8 for me, but as you know, President and State of Florida, Governor DeSantis has issued a statewide quarantine that started yesterday, I believe, or this morning at midnight. So we got 30 days to go, and we haven't begun to see any effective change take place throughout our communities or throughout the country. Most we can do is hope for the best, you know what I mean? We can hope that our leaders know what they're doing and the plans are gonna work. But personally, plans ain't been working yet, so I don't expect this one to work either. I expect it to be a countrywide mandatory don't leave your house thing, for any kind of progress, because deaths are doubling, infection rates are doubling, and that's not going to change overnight. But you got to take into consideration the disease or virus has been around since December. November, December, and there's been a lot of travel going on since that time. We're now in April, so it's only a matter of time before we see like a really high rate of people infected. But in the midst of that, just continue to be self-aware. Again, it's a major word right there. Just be self-aware and understanding of what's going on. Take care of yourself, keep yourself clean at all times, and just, follow the social distance guidelines until this thing blows over. It's kind of killing our spirits. We're not able to interact the same. Our trust is a little destroyed. But in the midst of all this, you got to keep the faith and expect that things will get better and not worse. If we follow, these guidelines, it's said that we should be safer, but it's kind of hard when we've been waiting so long for a leader to actually give us proper guidelines to follow. I don't necessarily know, what's gonna happen next, but I do know that it's pretty bad, and I pray that it doesn't get any worse. On a brighter note, I hope everybody's taking this time to understand yourself a lot more. Stay grounded and focused so that you don't lose vision of what you're actually, or what you were aiming towards. Don't let a lifetime off destroy your vision or deter you from achieving your goals. Because this is creating a whole new society. This is promoting the richer to a higher class and downgrading middle class to a lower class. And if you wasn't prepared, it's affecting you the most. Like, I think the least amount of preparation I had was with food, water. Those things I lacked because I had just came back from Mexico on the 17th of March. And when I came back, things started getting from bad to worse. When I went grocery shopping, there wasn't anything. There wasn't any water or anything. At the same time, that Friday, I'm a barber, so things was really slow. Like, people had already been getting laid off, so I started to see issue warnings for leaving the house that went out. So I started to see it at work. When I came back from work, people weren't really coming to get haircuts. And the news started issuing stay-at-home orders and, you know, instilling fear in people that will actually interact with people really close. So it affected me. And then the next week now, the stay-at-home order was into place for non-essential businesses for Hillsborough County. So all in all, I've been feeling like a domino effect for like about 2.5 weeks now. You know, some of it my fault because I left in the middle of it and came back to a worse state. But yeah, preparation is really key throughout your life. You need to be prepared for the worst case scenario. A lot of people don't prepare for the worst case scenario because they don't think it can get any worse, because they feel like they've elevated from a level in which they were a few months, years ago. They feel like the work that they put in will now graduate them, and that's not the case. That's not the way the world works. The world is not fair. It's not a fair place. So you always have to have preparation. Never think that anything is owed to you. Always just be prepared for the worst case scenario. You always want to have a source of money that you save for days like this. You know, you never know what you're saving for until the moment happens and you're happy that you saved it. So if anybody has any questions on how to save or what steps to take to try to save anything, just leave a comment. You know, it doesn't hurt to comment. I'll reply back. I got plenty of time to. So, but like I'm saying, you want to be prepared. You should always prepare and try to save. Most people are not able to, but it's best to try to save a year's salary, because you never know what moment something will just go on a downslide and how long the downslide will occur. You don't know how long it'll take you to rebound. All these things should be equated. Math, man, you gotta be up to par on your math skills when it comes to your life and your situation. You always have to have your numbers in place and keep it in a realistic state so that you're able to handle bad situations. So saving is very important. I hope a lot of people learn from this moment. And if you have kids, you should definitely understand that saving is important, because not only you have to worry about hearing your stomach grumble, but now you have to worry about your children. You know, you want your children to grow and be healthy and be able to learn. And how do they do that when they're hungry? I'm sorry, my back is crazy problem. But yeah, these things are very important. So preparation is key, man. Always be prepared. Be prepared, be self-aware, and always overstand. Always try to overstand the situation. Never try to get basic understanding, because that's just going to get you to the key of the problem. But when you overstand, you can see past the problem, and now you can see past the problem and into the eyes of the person that's causing the problem. Our leaders are terrible, you know, and we don't have a leader, you know. No offense to anyone, but we don't necessarily have a leader to look up to and can trust the words that they're giving to us. So you have to lead your household. You have to be a leader yourself. You know what I'm saying? You are made in an image that is superb, and you have to be able to train your mind and your physical so that you're able to achieve the goals that you set and be aware and be able to avoid things that you don't want to happen to you. Like I said before, all these things are controllable by you. And once you take the wheel, there's no letting go, and you're actually comfortable enough to make decisions and put yourself ahead of the curve, because a lot of people are going to be stuck in that curve. Now, how do you maneuver behind 3 million people trying to get in the same curve as you? It's extremely difficult. You don't want to take the same path as 9 million people. You want to be able to just cut through, get around, and get back on path and get back in the groove of things and pick back up making the money you make and get on with your life. This is just a speed bump in the road, but these things should be taught to us, and they're not. So don't ever think that it's not a moment that you can learn, because now at the age of 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, you can still learn and you can still prepare for the next time something happens, because something is always going to happen. Preparation is key. But good news tip, I'm very excited to know that my tenants paid their rent today. So I'm not as stressed as I once was. You know, I'm still stressed out, but at least I know my tenants are on a good foot, so I don't necessarily have to worry about them on a financial standpoint. These things are key in your life. You definitely want to have a source of income that is dependable. And a lot of sources of income, extra sources of income are a necessity. And my man Nipsey Hussle talks about it all the time, every time. You always want a source of income that you don't have to work for. You want that check in the mailbox every month, guaranteed, rain, sleet, hail, or snow. These things are key because there's never a point that you know you're going to lose your job. You never know when unimaginable circumstances can happen. Acts of God, you never know. But one thing you know is that check is going to be mailed. You have to put yourself in a position that you're able to control something that no one else can dictate the outcome of it except you. I thought opening a business was that point, but no. Now I'm thinking deeper than opening a business. Now I want to open a business that is communicable to the client. And I want everybody to think, what can you do now to reach the client so that the client doesn't have to come to you in the event of a world crisis and you are mentally stable enough to deliver your product to that client? I'm going to get out of here. I was just checking in to let y'all know that things are not all as bad as they seem, but you always want to plan, prepare, structure, and execute. I'll holler at y'all, man. This is Nate.